Thank you for inviting me. It's really an honor to be here and to have the opportunity to present. I am really grateful that Al's running all the equipment back there. And I'm really thankful to Dr. Craig Schieber for inviting me and allowing this opportunity to happen. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Spokane and went to Whitworth College, which now is Whitworth University. And I also got my master's degree from there. And then right out of getting my bachelor's degree, I started teaching fifth grade, got hired right away. Spent the next 22 years teaching fifth graders. And the last 8 years, I've been in a third grade classroom. So this is my 30th year. Wow. My hope is that in the next hour or so, you may start to dream about what's possible for you personally, what's possible for you maybe professionally, what's possible when it comes to creating a dynamic, powerful learning environment for your students and in your classrooms. It was at Whitworth College that I had the huge honor of learning from Dr. Dave Albert. He's one of the professors there at that time. And he did his master's and his doctoral work at Michigan State University. And he studied under the tutelage of Dr. Jerry Duffy and George Sherman, which most of us in the Northwest don't know about. But back there, these guys are it. They invented the systematic reading instruction. And so they were really, really influential in Dr. Albert's life. And Dr. Albert was very influential in my life. And so Dr. Albert talked a lot about three clouds that hang over every teacher's head. And they kind of rain on your parade all day long, in fact, all year long. And as you can see, the first one is the press for content. Now, if you think about the press for content, we're talking about curriculum. And just in the elementary level, we're talking reading, writing, spelling, grammar, math, social studies, science, health, PE, library, music. Holy cow, that's so much content. It's so much curriculum. And then if that's not enough, you look at the number of students. When I first started teaching, in my very first year, I had 36 students. I had 24 boys and 12 girls. I didn't even know any different. And now, yes, the class sizes are getting smaller. I have 26 students. But if you really think about that, 26 students in one classroom with all that content, those are some clouds that kind of hang over your head. But I don't think number one and number two even come close to number three. Number three is a very dark cloud, and it rains hard, torrential rain. The diversity in students' ability is actually mind-blowing. In any normal, average American public school third grade classroom, right now as we speak, there is a bell curve from kids working at the first grade level all the way up to easily the fifth grade level, and that's the minimum. So we're talking at least a 4-year, 5-year gap between your lowest achieving kids and your most highly capable ones. And that's just in third grade. When you get into fifth grade, that gap gets bigger. That bell curve increases. And so when you really start thinking about these three clouds, it is daunting. It's daunting to say the least, because you got one teacher in there and these three clouds raining on your parade. So I've always been looking for ways to help bring that sunshine back and help dissipate those three clouds that hang over every teacher's head all year long. So for my first 6 years in teaching, beginning way back in 1983, which of course was on the other side of the state, over in the Spokane area, we did what's called ability groups. And I'm not talking about just high, medium, and low. We did 3 different grade levels of groups. So in my 5th grade classroom, for example, we had 6th grade reading book, 6th grade math book, 6th grade spelling book. We had 5th grade reading, spelling, and math, and we had 4th grade reading, spelling, and math. Just think about that for a minute. That's 9 different lessons. 9 completely different lessons I taught every morning to 9 different groups. And that was just 3 subjects. And what was really interesting about that format is I'm behind this kidney-shaped table, 10 kids coming to me at once. There's 20 kids out there in La La Land. They're sitting out in my room, and we're doing this rotation thing. And at any given moment, I got these 10 kids that I'm working with, and the other 20 have nobody helping them. No one. And that's the format that I did for 6 years. That's all I knew. So when 1990 came, I moved over to this side of the mountains, and I started working for the Monroe School District, and I was at Maltby Elementary. And the principal there at that time told me, "We don't do that." And I said, "We don't do what?" And he said, "We don't do ability groups." I said, "What?" I mean, that's all I knew. He said that we do large group, whole class lessons. I said, "You're kidding, right? With reading, spelling, math? We're going to put the lowest achieving kids and the most accelerated, highly capable kids all in one book at one time, and they're going to go at the same pace." He says, "That's what we do." I said, "Whoa, okay. I've never done that." And so for the next 22 years, that's what I did. So what's so amazing to me is that when you're doing whole class, large group lessons, it's been my experience that the kids who actually need the help the least, well, let's actually reverse that. The kids who need the help the most often get the least amount of help because they are the ones who are the lowest achieving kids in the class, and they're going to try and slide through that crack. They're going to try to fly under the radar. They're not going to want to raise their hand. They don't want to be embarrassed because they don't know the answer. And so it's really difficult in a large group whole class lesson to spend time, any quantity of time, with like 3 or 4 really low achieving kids because you got 25 other kids that are pulling on you, tugging on you at the same time. It's really difficult. But what I find more fascinating is when you flip that around and you start thinking about the kids on the other end in a whole class, large group setting, the kids who actually need the help the least, they often get the most help, or at least the most attention, because they're the ones that know the answer. They got their hands up. They're raring to go. They're rock stars. This is their thing. They know this stuff, so they're fully engaged. They're also the first ones to turn their papers in, so they get all this teacher attention. It's really challenging in a whole class, large group format to meet everybody's needs. It's really tough. So I really get that sage on the stage. I really get it. I get being up in front of the class and running those large group lessons. That was my reality for 22 years. The guide on the side, that was just a theory. So let's go back to my first 10 years in the classroom. When I was working on my master's degree, I knew in those first 10 years that if there was some way, any way, that we could put another full-time adult in that classroom and free that teacher up, we would really have something. But of course, budget constraints, money's tight. It just didn't happen. Teacher is pretty much all alone in there. So after doing large group whole class lessons for over 20 years, I was really ready and really hungry to find a better way. About 3 years ago, a buddy of mine named Tim Wheatley introduced me to Gallup's 40 years of research on human strengths. Dr. Don Clifton is the father of strengths movement. And way back in the 1960s, he wanted to find out what made peak performers tick. He knew at that time that most of the psychologists that were operating in the 1960s, they were studying what was wrong with people. He wanted to study what was right with people, especially what are people's strengths and why do some excel more than others. So he, along with his team of researchers, after conducting hundreds of thousands of interviews from people all over the world, from every walk of life, came up with the concept of signature themes or talents. A talent is our most naturally powerful way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. You are born with these. You cannot learn talent. They're God-given. When we add skills and knowledge to these talents that we're born with, we can develop what Dr. Don Clifton calls strengths. A strength is the ability to consistently produce a positive outcome with near perfect performance in a given task. I want to say that again. A strength is the ability to consistently produce a positive outcome with near perfect performance in a given task. Now, for me, it helps to think about this through the world of sports and music. There are some amazing athletes that are born with a lot of natural talent. And if that athlete works hard and acquires knowledge and skills, then that natural talent can become a real strength, where they have the ability to consistently produce a positive outcome with near perfect performance in a given task. I think of Ray Allen, who used to play for our beloved Seattle Supersonics, which of course aren't here anymore. And he now plays for the Miami Heat. He is arguably one of the best three-point shooters ever in the history of the NBA. He consistently, year in and year out, makes over 90% of his free throws. That did not happen by accident. He has taken his natural God-given talents, added lots and lots of basketball knowledge and skills, and has turned those into real strengths. Or, let's take musicians, for example. Many are born with natural talents, and they've added musical knowledge and skills over the years and turned their playing of whatever musical instrument it might be into a real strength, to the point that they now have the ability to consistently produce a positive outcome with near perfect performance in any given song they play. So, all of this has really opened my eyes. I've done a lot of self-reflection. Ask my wife, Karen. When I was younger, I had this huge passion for baseball, especially being a hitter. I also loved competitive bowling, including competing in several PBA regional bowling tournaments. I was the one who loved endless nights of playing ping pong. I often, on my way to high school, would pull my car over just to watch for 10 or 15 minutes these framers building this house. And then the next day I'd stop again in shock and in awe of just how much they got done in one day. I actually watch synchronized swimmers in the Olympics, blown away by how two people can be in the middle of a swimming pool and look like they are mirror images of one another doing these crazy moves to music. What's up with that? People laugh at me, especially my wife Karen, because my favorite two TV shows on right now by far, Dancing with the Stars and American Idol. And trust me, I can't dance and I can't sing. But isn't that interesting? I can't dance and I can't sing, but I can watch those shows every week and never, ever get tired or bored. I can practice hitting baseballs every day. I can go bowling and practice for an hour and a half every single night, which of course, by the way, I used to do. And I never, ever, ever wore out. In fact, I was actually energized by doing that. I used to wonder, and so did my parents, why there was such a magnetic draw, like a moth to a flame, when it came to my intense interest in certain areas that from the outside seemed completely unrelated. I mean, synchronized swimming and hitting baseballs, they're very, very far away from each other. Except when you look at them through the lens of Gallup's work on human strengths. After taking their online test, I was given my top 5 signature themes, or my natural God-given talents. Mine are strategic, achiever, positivity, connectedness, and woo. Woo is winning others over. I absolutely love, and always have since being a little boy, needing to be strategic and figuring out how to do something well. And then the achiever in me gives me unending energy to keep working at something. So when you put on those glasses and you look through the lens of strategic and achiever, you start to see why hitting baseballs, bowling in competitive scratch tournaments, ping pong, synchronized swimming, Dancing with the Stars, and even American Idol have such a magnetic pull on me and a tug on my heart. Dr. Don Clifton discovered that those who really rise to the top of their game, become peak performers in their own right, are people who have taken their natural God-given talents, combined those with skills and knowledge, and have turned those into strengths. Living your strengths is the most powerful way to live, which produces the highest quality of results in whatever you're doing, whether it's in your personal life or in your professional life. So, then as fate would have it, I came across a couple of books put out by Gallup Press. They are called Teach with Your Strengths and Building Engaged Schools. I cannot recommend these books highly enough. They have had an enormous impact on me during this journey. I literally, and I mean literally, began dreaming the dream. I began to dream about how can I bring my top 5 talents into the classroom and turn those into strengths? How can I blow the lid off and use my strengths unleashed in the classroom to create the most powerful learning environment possible for my students? How can I create a classroom where I get to do what I do best every day? About this same time period, my wife's sister, Robin, encouraged me to check out something called Khan Academy. I said, "Where is that?" She said, "It's not a place, silly. It's online." And that they use it at the school that she works at. So about 6 months later, sitting in the parking lot of Safeway in Monroe, waiting for my wife, Karen. It was dark. It was raining. I was alone. I thought, I got a smartphone. Maybe I'll just check out this Khan Academy thing. So I went online, and I tell you what, I was blown away. I was blown away. How's he doing that? A crystal clear audio. I could not believe the writing was clear, neon colors, it popped. I was just so amazed. And I knew right then, right that night, if I could somehow, some way learn to create instructional videos like that, I could duplicate myself. I could become that person that in my first 10 years I wanted to have in my room. There could be the digital video recorded me, and then there could be the live in-person me. Oh man, I was so excited. Big problem was I had no idea how to create instructional videos. None. And it's almost funny because I hooked up my tripod and I hooked up my camcorder, and I don't know what I was doing. And so I videotaped my computer monitor. Note to self, horrible idea. Horrible. Lines, grainy, just ridiculous. I'm like, okay. So then I started putting on my strategic talent, and I started thinking, okay, let's Google this. So I started Googling, instructional videos, Sal Khan, computer videos, and up came this one word called Wacom. What the heck is Wacom? So I went to their website, and lo and behold, I found out that their North American offices are right here in Vancouver, Washington. And it's a Japanese company. And so I gave them a call, and I talked to them about what I wanted to do. And the lady on the phone told me what I needed. And I said, thank you very much. And I went home that night and I begged, I pleaded with my wife, please let me buy one of these things they call Pin Tablet. And I had to really bribe her, okay, it can be my next 2 birthdays and my next 2 Christmas presents. I don't care. I need one, please. I want to try this. And she said yes. And so I ordered one, and as fate would have it again, we got about that much snow. I'm from Spokane. We got about that much snow, and they shut down school for 4 days. I'm like, what? This much snow? We get this much snow, and everything keeps rolling in Spokane. This much snow, they shut school down, and But it was actually a big blessing in disguise because I had 4 days off. But then UPS sends me this alert and they say, unfortunately, we're unable to deliver your package because of snow. I said, what? I called them up, don't you guys have chains? I mean, come on. They said, no, but you can come get it. So I got my 4-wheel drive truck, boom, over the hills and through the woods to Redmond I went. So I picked that baby up, I come back to Monroe, and whoa, bliss. I mean, the next 4 days were, they changed my life. I mean, they literally changed my life. I dialed it in. I started learning how to use that thing. And right away I said, wow, let's make some spelling videos. And then let's make some grammar videos. And let's see what happens if I have kids go watch these. It was seriously the most amazing experience I've ever had. I mean, for the first time in my teaching career, I'm free. I'm free to help kids. I'm like, whoa. I didn't even know what to do for a minute. I was like walking around like, wow. Because those kids were glued to the screen watching those videos I made, and now I'm free to work with these other kids. It was amazing. It was amazing. It so inspired me that summer I went nuts. I just decided I'm going to blow the lid off this. I'm going to make reading, writing, spelling, grammar, and math videos. I'm now at 500 videos and counting. So what I like to do now is kind of change things up here a little bit and show you some of the things that are going on in my classroom. KCTS Channel 9, when I was selected for the Golden Apple Award, they came out and spent the entire day, 7.5 hours, wow, for a 3.5-minute video. I had one of these mics on me for 7.5 hours and the video is 3.5 minutes. I'm like, wow, that's like Hollywood or something. Anyway, so I'd like to share with you the Golden Apple Award show video they did. It kind of give you a sneak peek into what's going on in my classroom. So let's take a look.
A few years ago, third grade teacher Randy Brown went on a mission to create the most powerful classroom possible for his kids at Fryeland Elementary. To do this, he made hundreds of instructional videos of his class curriculum, then divided his students into rotating learning groups. The result? 2 Randys, and twice as much individual attention for his students.
Woohoo! Here we go with a brand new what? Show! That's right, show!
About 3 years ago, I became familiar with Khan Academy, and when I saw his videos, lots of lights went off because I knew then I could duplicate myself. I literally could have a digital video recorded me.
Which one is 78 closer to?
And I can have a live in-person me. You guys just watched the video on rounding to the nearest 10. So Justin, what's exactly right between 60 and 70?
65.
That's right. Nice job. I've made over 400 videos and counting.
So you're going to take this information and you're going to create a sentence out of it, because this is where they have stuff alike.
So I'm able to work with small groups, kids one-on-one, while groups over there watching the videos. And so I've heavily modified my classroom. Then I want you to put a big X.
I am a huge fan of flipping the classroom.
Right where 25 is.
You see how easily the kids adapt to it and how they know exactly what to do, when to do it. And they go from station to station, and he's got the time to focus on those 10 kids that aren't doing something else.
Yes, capital M, capital S, nice.
Raise your hand if you know. Yeah.
These kids are digital natives. They pick it up quickly, and they love it. They're so wired for it. Time for Kids arguably is the best magazine in the world for children. And I thought that if we could have kids make the printed page come alive and turn that into a video.
Welcome to Room 21 TFK News.
We really would have something.
Waffles are common in Australia, but they usually happen in the country summer season. Mr. Brown is really funny, and he likes technology, and he lets me use my fake Australian accent.
For all the talent that he brings to our school, brings to our classroom, he's very genuine about giving that back to others.
I started a club called Students Can Make a Difference because I really want kids to have an opportunity to experience the joy that you receive when you actually help other people out.
Lasagna? Anybody want lasagna?
It is a beautiful thing to see kids serving adults who really need a hand. One of the best things about being a teacher for me is the absolute complete joy it is to be around little kids. They're so happy.
I love pizza!
They are just full of joy. I mean, how can you not love that? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. First, I want to thank my wife, Karen, for all her support, her encouragement, and her advice. I also want to thank my building principal, Jeff Presley, for allowing me the freedom to creatively implement technology into the classroom to help student learning. Being freed up to work with kids one-on-one all day long through the use of instructional videos has been the single most powerful experience I've ever had. It's been the most powerful transformation in education that I've ever experienced in my 30 years. It really has been amazing. Thank you so much. Now, I wanted to let you know that after the Golden Apple Awards video aired, Wacom, the manufacturers of that pen tablet, they reached out to me and they asked if they could send a film crew in and do a story on the use of their pen tablet in the creation of the now 500 videos I've made. They really wanted to capture what I was doing and do it some honor. And I said, yeah, you know, that'd be kind of neat. So here's another sneak peek into what's going on in my classroom from Walkons Perspective. For many, many, many years, I knew that if I could get another adult in my classroom to free me up, that could be the most powerful overnight transformation in education. But obviously, budget-wise, they're not going to do that. You're not going to have 2 full-time adults in a classroom. I knew that if I could somehow, some way, learn to create instructional videos and make them really well and really professional, I'd be onto something. When I discovered the Wacom Pen Tablet, literally my life changed. I was able to create these high-quality instructional videos, bring them into the classroom, and literally duplicate myself. So there's the digital video recorded me, and then there's the live in-person me. And it's been, seriously, the single most powerful transformation in education I've ever experienced in my 30 years. The benefits of flipping your classroom are many, but probably the 2 most powerful are kids who are absent from school, whether they're sick or they're on vacation. The flipped classroom allows them to not miss anything. They can go online and watch those videos and still keep caught up. That's a powerful benefit. The second most powerful benefit for me has been classroom management. In a flipped classroom setting in my classroom, the kids would go over to watch the video. Half of them would. I have 13 kids that go over at one time. They sit down and they start watching the video. That now allows me to be totally free to work with the other kids. So if they're working on a reading, writing, spelling, or grammar assignment, I'm able to help them personally with that particular assignment. And then when Group 1 gets done with their math video, they go back to their desk, they get their whiteboards out, and now I'm able to do a guided practice with them. And that actually is my favorite part of the day, because I get to use my Wacom Pen tablet. I'm able to put some examples up on the whiteboard, the electronic whiteboard, from my desk that they just saw in the video, and together we get a practice working those out together. And then they hold their whiteboards up, and I can see who's getting it and who's missing it, and I can give them some feedback right on the spot. And then I'm able to write out some problems, have kids go up in front of the class and answer them on the electronic whiteboard. Everybody can see, and I can control it from my desk. I can change the colors. If they make a mistake, I can erase it. So it's very interactive. My students love this model, and I think their parents actually love it more. The parents, they thank me all the time because they're able to actually help their kids at home. I mean, think about it. There's all this new lingo, math mountains and all this crazy stuff that we never heard when we were growing up. Now a parent can actually watch that video, understand the language, and sit down with their child and help them on the homework. It is really a beautiful thing. I believe that it's 2014. We need to start catching up with technology here. For us teachers to embrace that technology and harness that technology and use that technology to make the most powerful learning experience possible for our students only makes sense. My dream for the flipped classroom model is that this will become the norm within 10 years. It is the 21st century. Let's help students and teachers use pen tablets and interactive digital equipment, because that's where we are. Our whole world is digital now. Everything's digital. It's time to help schools move into the digital age, and Walkon can play a major part in that role. That was really nice. I was really grateful for them to come. It's really neat for my kids too, because I mean, it really honors them. I mean, it really honors them, and they were so excited to participate in that. So this year, I was able to purchase a couple of Walkon pen tablets so that my students could use them. And one of the things that I have them doing is showing what they know. So in fact, in my classroom, we've got this little jingle. It goes like this. With a Walkon pen tablet, we get to show what we know in a video. Okay, so I just proved I can't sing, so I'm keeping my day job and don't have to worry about American Idol tapping on my door. But one of the things that's interesting is having kids create their own videos on a variety of topics is really a higher level thinking thing if you think about it. And so one of the topics that we did, the first topic we did, was what is the multiplication process? Now remember, they're only 8 and 9-year-olds, and so let's take a look at one of those that they did. This is the very first shot at using Walkon pen tablets, but I'm telling you, they're digital natives. They pick it up fast. So here we go.
My name is Ashlyn. I'm going to show you one way the multiplication process can be demonstrated. I'm going to show multiplication as repeated groups. Let's take the multiplication problem 7 times 4. That means there are 7 groups with 4 in each group. Let me show you what that looks like. I've drawn out 7 groups of 4. 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 4, 5 groups of 4, 6 groups of 4, and 7 groups of 4. That would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So the answer to 7 times 4 would equal 28. Now I'm going to show you another way the multiplication process can be demonstrated. I'm going to show multiplication represented in rows and columns, also known as an array. Let's stay with the multiplication problem 7 times 4. Using an array, this means that there are 7 rows with 4 in each row. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's do rows and columns. You'd have 7 rows and 4 columns. And when you are finished, you'd have 28. So the answer to 7 times 4 is 28. Now I'm going to show you another way to demonstrate the multiplication process. This will be repeated addition using a number line. Let's stick with the multiplication problem 7 times 4. This time we will be using a number line to demonstrate repeatedly adding 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, etc. for a total of 7 times. Here is my number line. Now watch as I demonstrate adding 4 plus 4 plus 4, etc. for a total of 7 jumps on a number line to show that 7 times 4 equals 28. So, 0 plus 4 equals 4. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 plus 4 equals 12. 12 plus 4 equals 16. 16 plus 4 equals 20. 20 plus 4 equals 24. 24 plus 4 equals 28. So, we did 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps, 5 jumps, 6 jumps, and 7 jumps. So 7 times 4 equals 28. Again, I am Ashlyn, and that wraps up 3 different ways to show how the multiplication process works. I really enjoyed getting a chance to demonstrate this for you, and look forward to showing you more next time.
All right, so that was pretty cool. First time using pen tablets for kids, too. Not bad for an 8-year-old. As you saw in the Golden Apple Awards video, Time for Kids, without a doubt, world's best magazine for children. And having them become news anchors and news reporters and making that printed page come alive has really been a really amazing experience. And so with the help of a green screen, because I got this giant 15-foot long, 8-foot high green screen in my room, I can literally put a kid anywhere in the world, even Antarctica. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Alexis. Hi, I am TFK News reporter Ashlyn Wright, coming to you from Antarctica. Each summer, Jean Pennicoat camps out in a tent at Cape Royds to observe Adelie penguins. I took a helicopter to watch her at work. Researchers round up penguins and gently place bands on the fuzzy chicks to keep track of them. We call it the penguin rodeo, she says. Jen Burns leads the team that monitors the health of Weddell seals. Paul Koch and Brenda Hall study the mummified remains of the seals in the dry valleys. They want to learn how the animals lived thousands of years ago. There are researchers who study things that may surprise you. Did you know Antarctica has an active volcano? Scientists are studying a lava lake on Mount Erebus. I had an amazing adventure. I left Antarctica with deep respect for the modern explorers who work and live in an extraordinary environment that is both extreme and extraordinary. Again, this is Ashlyn Wright reporting from Antarctica for Room 21 TFK News. Thank you for watching.
My latest creation that's really come out of using my strengths in the classroom is what I call Room 21 Roundtable. Now, I really like the Sunday morning talk shows. I like Meet the Press with David Gregory. I like This Week with George Stephanopoulos. I like CNN's State of the Union with Candy Crowley. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to create a roundtable discussion inside my classroom where the kids get to be the moderator. And they'll have like a moderator and then there'll be a panel of experts who get to answer the moderator's questions on whatever topic we choose. And then we could turn that into a video. So we took one of our science topics about astronomy, speed of light, and we filtered that content through one of our Room 21 roundtable discussions. Let's take a look.
Welcome to this week's edition of Roundtable. I am your host, Elena Figueroa. Joining me today is our distinguished panel of guests. To my far right, we have Cole Stevens. Next to Cole is Maddie Stivers, and to my left is Rama Moza. Today we'll be exploring our universe and talking about some specific facts pertaining just how big our universe is. So Cole, to get everyone on board with the concept of the enormous size of just how big our universe is, can you talk a little bit about the type of telescopes astronomers use?
Well, Elena, first, thank you for inviting me to be on your program today. Astronomers do not use the puny little telescopes that someone like you or I would buy at the local store. They use these giant atomic electron telescopes that sit on top of mountain peaks.
Wow, that is amazing. So, Maddie, what does that mean as far as what can astronomers see?
Well, Elena, astronomers have looked up into space with these huge atomic electron telescopes and pointed them just in the area of the bowl of the Big Dipper, and they have found 1 million separate galaxies.
That is incredible. So, Rama, can you tell us how many stars are in a galaxy?
Each galaxy contains millions of stars.
That is certainly amazing. We need to take a break, so we will be right back after these commercial messages. Welcome back to Roundtable. So cool. Can you help us understand a concept of a light year?
Certainly. A light year refers to just how far light travel can in 1 year. Since light travels at 669 million miles per hour, we times that by 24 to get how far light travels in 1 day, because there are 24 hours in a day. And then multiply that by 365 to get how far light travels in 1 year, because there are 365 days in 1 year.
That's going to be a big number. Maddie, can you tell us then what is meant by light year?
Well, Elena, Cole is correct. Multiplying 669 million by 24 and then that by 365 will come out to 6 trillion. Light travels almost 6 trillion miles in 1 year.
Rama, can you tell us then what is meant by light year? Yes. 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles, so if a star is 5 light years away from Earth, then that is almost 30 trillion miles away. But because 30 trillion is a number 30 with the 12 zeros after it, astronomers just say and write 6 light years. That is amazing! Well, I am certainly impressed with all the things we have learned here today. And that's all about the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Roundtable.
All right, well, what's interesting about doing the roundtable is you can filter any topic, any conversation through there. And a lot of times, because we're so busy with the reading, writing, math curriculum, we don't have as much time for like social studies and science. And so I'm really excited about having kids have an outlet, an opportunity to discuss a lot of those topics, and they love it. Trust me, they beg me to get this online so they can show their parents and their grandparents. It's a super high motivator for them. And what a great outlet for high-stakes reading. I mean, that really allows them to have a platform where they're extremely motivated to learn to pronounce the words properly. So another really creative way to help kids learn to make that printed page come alive and orally interpret characters is to have them record their voices and then, like in a reader's theater setting, and then take that audio track and put that with some illustrations that the kids create themselves and then turn that into a video. So this year, one of our third grade reading stories, it's a play, class play, and it's based on the Snohomish Native Americans right here where we live. How cool is that? And so let's take a look at that video. It's called Pushing Up the Sky.
Long ago, the sky was very close to the earth. The sky was so close that some people could jump right into it. Those people who were not good jumpers could climb up the tall fir trees and step into the sky. But people were not happy that the sky was so close to the earth. Tall people kept bumping their heads on the sky, and there were other problems.
Oh, that hurt. I just hit my head on the sky again.
I just threw my ball and it landed in the sky, and I can't get it back.
Where is my son? Has he climbed a tree and gone up into the sky again?
Every time I shoot my bow, my arrows get stuck in the sky.
The sky is too close.
So people decided something had to be done. A great meeting was held for all the different tribes. The 7 wisest chiefs got together to talk about the problem.
My people all think the sky is too close. The Creator did a very good job of making the world.
That is true, but the Creator should have put the sky up higher. My tall son keeps hitting his head on the sky.
My daughter keeps losing her ball in the sky.
We are agreed, then. The sky is too close.
We are agreed.
What can we do? I have an idea. Let's push up the sky.
The sky is heavy.
If we all push together, we can do it.
We will ask the birds and animals to help. They also do not like it that the sky is so close.
The elk are always getting their antlers caught in the sky.
The birds are always hitting their wings on it.
We will cut tall trees to make poles. We can use those poles to push up the sky. That is a good idea. Are we all agreed?
We are all agreed.
It isn't working. The sky is still too close. Where is Seven's chief? This was his idea. Here I am, and I found this long pole.
Your plan is not good. See, we're pushing the sky and it is not moving.
But I said we must push together. We need a signal so that all can push together. Our people speak different languages.
Let us use Yahoo as a signal. Ready?
Yes. Yahoo!
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 We're doing it.
Now my son won't be able to hide in the sky.
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
It will be too hard for my arrows to get stuck into it.
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
We have done it!
So the sky was pushed up. It was done by everyone working together. That night, though, when everyone looked overhead, they saw many stars in the sky. The stars were shining through the holes poked into the sky by the poles of everyone who pushed it higher. No one ever bumped his head on the sky again, and those stars are there to this day.
Took a lot of kids to make that one. I have a corner in my room that I affectionately refer to as our AVRS, Audio Visual Recording Studio. And it's loaded. I mean, it's got 10 laptops, 10 microphones, and the microphones all have headsets, so I can have 10 kids at a time sit around, put the headsets on, and when they narrate or orally interpret their voice, everybody can hear them. It's just really cool. And then they can play it back on a digital voice recorder if they make a mistake. It's really, really neat. That's how they did that one there. So at the end of the year, I let the kids really have a lot of fun. Towards the end of May, June, I let them create their own scripts, record their own voices, design their own characters, and put that all into a puppet show. And they literally create dozens and dozens of these puppet shows. And now remember, they're only 8 and 9 years old. But let's take a look at one. They're pretty fun.
When cats go to school, Layla is Mama Cat, Buckets, and Turtle.
Annie is Mrs. Claus and Snowflake. Sophia is Whitney and Starfire.
I'm bored. Me too. Me three. Me four. Count me in. I'm glad you said that because I signed you up for school.
You what?
I signed you out for school.
Oh no, you didn't.
When do we start? Tomorrow.
You wouldn't, Mama.
Come on, let's get some supplies.
Oh, brother.
Wake up, my little kittens.
Mama, why are we waking up so early?
School, of course. Should have just said so. Oof.
Mama, I'm ready. Me too.
Okay, kittens, get in the car.
Yes, Mama. It's so big.
I never imagined it like this before.
Holy pizza pie! It has a playground! And a window! Whitney!
What are we waiting for? Let's go in. Bye, my little kittens.
Hello. You kittens must be Snowflake, Whitney,
Starfire, Buckets, and Turtle. Yep, that's us. And I'm your teacher, Mrs. Claus. Hi! Find your desk, please. It has your name on it. Wow! Take your seats, please. Yes, Miss Claus. We are going to start out with vocabulary. Vocabulary. Oh. Do we get a pencil? Yes. I'm going to write down some vocabulary words on the board. Okay. Okay, I wrote box, girl, boy, man, woman, father, mother, brother, and sister, and puppy.
Ooh, I know puppy. Mama said never to go buy one.
That's nice. Oh my, lunchtime already? Sweet! Yummy, yummy!
What did you get, Snowflake?
Same thing as you. Tuna sandwich, crunchy treats, and milk.
Oh.
Yum! Okay, time for recess. Yay!
Yay!
I call jump rope.
I call hula hoop. No, me.
Okay, but just this time. Okay, recess over. Aww. Okay, time to go home. Aww. Do not be sad. You will come back tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, you can go now.
Yay!
Did you have a good day?
Yeah!
Good, because you're going back tomorrow.
Yay!
It's amazing how silly those are and how motivating they are for those kids. I mean, they stay up at night, they work on them all weekend. There's something about creating that really captivates a child's heart. And yeah, I want one more. Each September, I have the kids who run for ASB officer candidate positions. They come into my room after school, and then I record their speeches in front of our green screen. So if they're running for the U.S. Treasury, if they're running for treasurer, I put them in front of the U.S. Treasury building. That'd be kind of wild at 8 years old running for that. That'd be very advanced, highly capable. If they're running for secretary, I put them in front of U.S. Congress. If they're running for vice president, I put them out in the Rose Garden. And of course, if they're running for president, we got them in the Oval Office. So let's take a look at one of these. These are really cool. And then these get put on a DVD and sent around to all the classrooms, so all 550 kids get to see them, and then they get a vote. It's pretty slick.
Hi, my name is Angel Gillihan, and I am running for president. I think I will make a good president because I am a good leader. I love to help others, and I am very caring. Some of the skills I am good at is being a good listener, and I have good communication skills. I am also very organized and have a great memory. I will use these skills to be the best president I can be. I am the oldest child in my family, and this has taught me a lot of responsibilities. I listen and follow directions very well. I support others when needed. One of my most favorite activities is art. I love to use my imagination, and I can be very creative. I think all these qualities are important to be a good leader. Thank you, and remember, vote for me, Angel Gillihan.
All right, very cute. And there's like 30 of those kids that run for office, so it takes a long time to make those videos. Finally, I would like to show you, and I'll talk over it here, this motivation system that I came up with a few years ago in my classroom. It's called Peak Performer, and it's been a really big hit. And so you'll see on your screen here some pictures that'll be rotating through. So what happens is every week the kids who behave really well and they turn in all of their work, they earn the title Peak Performer. They get their picture taken in front of the green screen, obviously, and they get to come in on Monday at lunch, and they eat in the classroom, and we watch some kind of Pixar cartoon, whether it's Cars or Finding Nemo. They get a lineup first all week to go to recess, PE, to go home. And then I create these 4x6 full color prints with each child's name on it, just like you're seeing. And then Mr. Presley, our principal, he calls their name over the intercom system on the morning announcements, and they get to go downstairs, and he personally gives them the certificates. It's extremely highly motivating for them. In fact, I often have kids who are homesick, and they go on my class website, they watch the videos, they print out the homework, their parents call me and say, so-and-so really wants to make peak performer, I'm going to bring their assignments in on Friday. I mean, I have a kid completely sick at home, and they're going to still be peak performer. You can't do that in a regular classroom. That's amazing. They're very highly motivated by it. So I guess in closing, I really want to really encourage everyone to think about what's possible. I mean, I hope in some small, itsy-bitty, puny-weeny, teeny-weeny way, you've been inspired about dreaming the dream. What's possible for you personally, for you professionally? If you're a teacher in the classroom, what can you do? I really hope that you check out those Gallup books on strengths. You can discover your natural talents. You can develop those into strengths. And then you can bring those into the classroom and blow the lid off them and teach with your strengths. And I guarantee you, if you do that, you will never, ever regret doing so. So with that, I say thank you.